Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, October 27, 2022, almost 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Everything, every step, every exposure, every experience for all of us on this planet is consciousness. The only way out for any of us to avoid an extraordinary economic decline in the years ahead is for us to experience that field of inner peace and intelligence within our own consciousness. Ron Robbins. We create things, and we do it 24/7. It doesn't mean we're aware of it, or do we have the confidence that we actually are doing it. None of these are bad things. They're all things that we haven't discovered about ourselves. It's what we deem, what we desire, what we want in this life for ourselves. And each of us deserve the best of everything. Every one of us deserves the best of everything. It really, and this is the difficult area of it for many, is that it has nothing to do with what's going on around us. It doesn't matter, independent of the state of the current situation on the planet, current economy, because by nature we are all supreme manifesting beings. And there's no negative belief that can turn off that power. And the thoughts that we think are always moving energy into form, creating it into reality and experiencing it. We're always manifesting into things. We are either manifesting the life that we want or the life that we don't want. We live inside an all-intelligent, magical universe that is profoundly, deeply, and intimately connected to us. And whatever we are imagining is happening to us in this life. It is what becomes alive inside of us and materializes whatever form, financial reality that forms around us. Our financial frequency determines what we attract. If the media person tells you that these are difficult times, what do you think you will believe? And it's hard to make money doing what you love, right? There's another one. It's hard to make money doing what you love. And then it's difficult times. You have a choice. We all have a choice. Don't believe them. Be the master of what you want to believe is true. Now, this goes against the society conditioning of civilization, because it's, you're supposed to worry. For goodness sakes, look around you. Look at everything that's going on. And the ironic thing about it is that we've all had a part in creating it, whatever it may be. It's good to be able to discover that and embrace that. We can have whatever we want. It's always been that way. And yet, we choose outside of ourselves, or we rely on others to make decisions for us or to do things for us. We are master magicians of our outer world because thoughts always create reality. Whatever we believe is real is what manifests as our physical reality. If and when we fully believe that we're always going to be broke, helpless, and powerless, then we will simply continue to see that reality forming around us. Yet, deeper down inside is a part of us that is partially blind to a greater truth. It is diminishing the fact that we are always connected to the God source. It doesn't believe that a magical, mystical, spiritual essence exists at the core of every atom inside all of us. Our ability to manifest anything we want in our lives is defined by how deeply we realize this idea is true. That is crucial. Many people will say, oh, yeah, I know about this thing. But deep down inside, do you believe it's true? Now, if you kind of believe it, then you kind of have the power to create whatever you want. Yet, what I'm sharing with you is more amazing than just living a half-assed kind of life. You are a creator. You create with your every thought. Abraham Hicks. That's true. Our thoughts and emotional patterns are highly powerful magnets that attract whatever matches their frequencies. Think the thoughts that you already have a deeply intimate connection with an unstoppable, all-powerful spiritual force inside you that will create anything you decide. And yes, all of us are more powerful than our wildest dreams can imagine. Just imagine how this world is already brimming with an abundance of opportunities: money, love, beauty, and support. Feel the sense of infinite resources, energy, and empowering experiences all around you. Believe it, feel it, and know it to be true. Belief is the only way we can change our lives. Now, obviously, many people don't believe. Then they won't change their lives, will they? Until they discover it. We need to see it in our mind's eye and feel it happening in our bodies. This is how we shift into having a new perspective on our future and manifesting a new life. What do you think we're all doing with New Earth? We're manifesting it. Choose to wake up every morning this coming week with the mindset that you are stepping completely out of all negative thinking, letting go of any poverty consciousness you have, and continually stepping into the positive state of abundance consciousness forever. We can manifest an abundance of money into our lives this month yet, only a few days left, and totally shift our financial situation by doing one powerful thing. Hold your imaginative attention solidly in one position, one positive direction for the next 21 days in a row, meaning constantly visualize yourself receiving the abundance you desire. Constantly. Live it. Imagine how it feels to be abundant, whole, creative, and in perfect harmony with everyone. Do this one thing with all your heart, mind, and soul for these 21 days, and you enforce this magical change to manifest. That's a personal guarantee. But if for 1 second you doubt, or you flinch, or you question, or you get frustrated, or impatient, it's right down the tubes. We are manifesting machines. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. We cannot stop creating reality as we see it to be. As we change our inner world, this energy radiates outward from our center and eventually manifests as our new updated outer world. We are deeply connected to this whole world in more ways than we can intellectually understand. The external world. This external world is just as much you as anything inside of your skin. You, as a human being, are a symptom of nature. You are not something that comes into the world, but something that comes out of it. Alan Watts. We are ready to learn the secrets to creating abundance in our lives. Try this one thing. It's quite interesting. I want you to try it. Physically start jumping up and down with excitement every day because an abundance of money is headed your way. And yes, literally start jumping up and down for 20 seconds every morning because you truly believe this is true. Feel it, believe it, and you will manifest it. See, the crucial area here for all of us is the ego mind. And we've been so conditioned by it, and society has, so that, that little feeling, this is silly, this isn't going to work, why am I doing this? This stuff is just garbage, blah, 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 blah. Each of us can feel what it's like to be living in our dream life, career, getting paid very well, having fun with everyone you're working with. Imagine you are following your life's purpose and how that feels in your body. Ditch those doubtful thoughts that say magic's not real and that you need to work super hard just to survive. Replace each thought with the feeling that you can have fun making money every day of your life. And you don't have to kill yourself doing it. Because many do. When we dedicate our lives to feeling this greater joy and well-being, we will get inspired to make new decisions tomorrow. This joy will give us the energy and motivation to implement these simple steps and attract that new personal economic situation that is fun, easy, and abundant. Now, some may think, or you may think, you are not magical and that you don't have a choice in how you are responding to whatever's going on around you. Financial crisis. Yet honestly, you are and you do. You can stop buying into the panic and fear that they're all feeding you. Tune out of the vibe of the mass media as it only recycles this negative fear vibe back into your system and worsens your inner energetic economy. We know for a fact, all of us do, according to the law of attraction, like attracts like. And once you upgrade your inner world to the vibration of trust, everything in your outer world will change. A healthy outer financial situation begins to manifest when you have consistent positive feelings and a strong positive focus towards your dream life. Heal yourself from the worry and fear that rapes your mind internally of its peace. How do you think the dark influences of this planet have been able to literally imprison billions of humanity for thousands and thousands of years. How do you think they were able to do it? Convince you that it's real. Convince you that it's real. What happens then? It's created. Okay? That's the danger. We are the danger. And when we don't know that, and the ego mind dictates to us, says, no, forget about it. We're the true danger. That's how powerful we are. We believe something. Now, it's not. It may not be conscious belief, but if you believe something unconsciously, you bring it in, you give it the power, you create it. You're moving. We are literally, all of us, moving energy into form, creating it into reality, and experiencing it. People may say, well, how do you figure that? Can you imagine that in World War II, had none of us given it any time of day, and we all visualized a peaceful transition, what do you think would have happened? There wouldn't have been a world war. What about Vietnam? What about Iraq? What about all the countless other wars that this civilization has been involved with, to the tune of 5,000 in the last 3,000 years? Why is that? Why is it? We don't know how powerful it is. Through the heart mind. We just don't know. Because we've always left it up to others to decide for us and to do for us, rather than for ourselves. And see what that does? It negates our ability to discover who and what we are century after century. Inner peace, you've all heard about that probably for years, is a choice. We either choose to make every moment of every day, or we don't. We make the decision. You could make it right in this now to choose a higher state of consciousness. Choose to enlighten your life with the truth that every thought you think manifests into your future. When your awareness increases, the outer shift will occur. When your awareness increases, the outer shift will occur, and everything else in your world will change along with it. It's been proven for thousands and thousands and millions upon millions of years. Not just for our species, but many others. Your mind is a powerful magnet that will attract to you the things you identify yourself with. You identify yourself with conflict, hatred, anger, frustration, fear. Your mind is a powerful magnet that will attract to you the things you identify yourself with. If you have sad thoughts, you will attract tragedies. If you are a good man, you will attract the company of good people. Alfredo Keras. For magical results to manifest, this must be the most important commitment of your life. You must choose to want to see the magic with all your heart and soul. You must choose to actively choose to spend less time in conflict with this life, longing for that feeling of abundance, more energy, enjoying the time and money that you do have. It's all about raising your vibration and seeing this economic challenge as an opportunity for spiritual growth. Everything is deeply eternal loving in disguise. This attitude of gratitude causes us to stop taking this magical life for granted and start appreciating what we do have here now. Be thankful for the current economic situation that you do have. We all know it could be always way worse. And feel how it is getting better and better every day. Abundance is flowing into our lives every day in every way. This change in consciousness is absolutely vital and necessary for us to enjoy our lives. Now, when we look at this world through the lenses, when we look at this world through the lenses of gratitude, we step into the vibration of abundance. It's a frequency. Then we can clearly see all the abundances that are all around us in every direction. When we live knowing that this world is an abundant place where all of us can experience infinite riches, it becomes super easy to see abundance materializing in everyone's daily life. This one shift in awareness will create miracles in our lives. Not to mention spread out into everyone's life around us. We all know that change starts with one person. As you individually step into your most empowered thinking, you will automatically bring change to the world. It's all about commitment and devotion that each of us choose or not choose. Commit to every morning in a manifesting routine. You will shift your consciousness to being solidly rooted in abundance when you are thinking, feeling, talking, acting, breathing, and living like an abundant being who is personally supported by this universe. A manifesting routine inspires us so that we are feeling like an unstoppable success, which will increase our natural manifesting abilities. To have a morning manifesting routine is as important or more than brushing your teeth every day. As you practice having your personal feel-good experiences every day, your energy will skyrocket and you'll see the infinite possibilities that abound in our economy. Make conscious green choices with your money. Do you love where your money is going? If your money is going towards companies that are destroying this world, then you are still participating in creating a negative vibe and global problem. Imagine what would happen if every one of us started investing in the companies that are good for our health, for our environment, for our emotional well-being. And I know, because everybody gets this addiction, so to speak. We don't really think about it, do we? And just stop buying unhealthy things, and all of the environmentally toxic products will lose all their market share, forcing many companies to rethink their product lines and environmental practices in order to survive. Now, everybody saw what happened with PayPal, didn't they? They came out with this new Orwellian law, and everybody started withdrawing and pulling out of them. And they lost $6 billion in a very short period of time. And then they recanted it. Everyone in the future will be choosing alternative means for fuel, electricity, and transportation. This will have a huge green impact on our environment and reduce future environmental costs. The real money in the future will be made by companies that are 100% green and honestly environmental. When we all invest in conscious companies, heart-minded companies that are committed to cleaning up our environment and empowering others, we spread this kind of well-being into our world. And everybody's feeling it. Even the ones that are unconscious, they feel this tugging in deep within their center of their heart. It's high time for all of us to unite in something else that can change the world around us. Right now, our world is standing at the foot of a very important crossroads. Do we continue down the road of doom and gloom, or shift our actions to embrace the new path, the new earth of global abundance and environmental healing? The choice is ours. The future is our creation. See, this, you begin to realize, and I know, we all know, all of us know, for the most part, there are people in our country suffering right now, struggling right now, fearing, worrying, wondering right now. Those of us who have been there more than once know this. We don't forget it. We know it. And we feel it. Every one of us feels everyone else. And I'm not talking about the physicality. I'm talking about the God source, the spirit within all of us. And when people are suffering, worrying, stressing, fearing, there's a way where it affects us all. And that's something that we're never going to be able to escape, because we're all part of the one. And we know what separation is about. Separation is the illusion. It seems like we're all in these bodies and we're all separate from each other. And we're all experiencing in different ways, different things in this life. And we're learning. But in reality, we're all one. And all the parts of the one are all experiencing in different ways, in different avenues, every single second. And people say, well, how can one person change anything? That's the ego mind talking, right? That just seems far-fetched. That is someone who is doubtful, that doesn't have a lot of trust in themselves or anything else. And their faith in themselves is weak. But every one of us, when we focus our devotion on ourselves to awaken within and to go within and stay within and practice being in the now through our breath, we begin to shift everything around us, including all those around us. And is it just that only a few of us have that power? No, we all do. Every one of us. It's just that some are totally asleep and they don't know they do. But unconsciously, they're doing it every day. And I know it sounds ironic to some people. We create what we don't want. Because, the theater around us is constantly banging on us. Constantly. It's like everywhere you look, there's something. And you could just shut it off, but then you're around people that are something. And so then you say to yourself, I'm choosing to surround myself with like-minded, heart-minded people. Now, you may look at someone that seems to be oblivious to all of this that's going on, all of this engineered crap, right? But they're not. They're focused on what they want to experience and the life that they want to live. Okay? There's people say, well, they're not. They don't seem concerned at all about any of this. That's pretty selfish, isn't it? They're not worrying, stressing, and fearing. No, because they know that they focus on what they want, the life they want to live. That's the life they're going to live. It is. You have the deep faith and trust in yourself and this universe. It's an inevitability. And what does that do? It changes everything around you. We look at all the violence on the planet, right? Do you think we're immune to it? Well, maybe physically not interacting with it. But we're not immune to it because it affects us all because of that frequency. Man is a dilemma because man is a duality. Man is not one single being. Man is the past and the future. The past means the animal, and the future means the divine. And between the two is the present moment. Between the two is man's existence. Divided, torn apart, pulled in diametrically opposite directions. If man looks backward, he is an animal. That's why science cannot believe that man is anything more, just another animal. Because science only searches into the past. Now, one thing that Darwin was correct on, and some others, is that man is born of the animals. It is true about the past, but it is not true about man's totality. Religion looks into the possible, into that which can happen and has not yet happened. Science dissects the seed and cannot find any flowers there. Religion is visionary. It dreams and is capable of seeing that which has not happened yet, the flower. Of course, that flower cannot be found by dissecting the seed. It needs great insight and not the capacity to analyze, but some intuitive flight, some vision, some poetic approach. It needs a real dreamer who can see that which has not happened yet. Religion looks into the possible and finds man is not an animal, but divine. We aren't talking about the religion that's man-made, by the way. This is way beyond that. Religion looks into the possible and finds man is not an animal, but divine. Man is God. Both are true. The conflict is baseless. The conflict between science and religion is futile. Their directions, their methods of work, their fields are totally different. Science always reduces everything to the source, and religion always takes a flight to the goal. Man is both. Hence, man is a dilemma. Constant anxiety, to be or not to be this or to be that. Man can find peace only in two ways. Either he becomes an animal again, then he will be one. Then there will be no division. Then again, there will be peace, silence, harmony. And that's why millions of people try to be animals in different ways. War gives a chance for man to become animal. Hence, war has great attraction. In 3,000 years of history, as I have mentioned, man has fought 5,000 wars continuously, somewhere or other. The war continues. Not even a single day passes when man is not killing other men. Why such tremendous joy and destruction in killing? The reason is deep down in the psychology of man. The moment you kill, suddenly you are one. You become the animal again. The duality disappears. Hence, there is a tremendous magnetic force in murder, and suicide. Man cannot yet be persuaded to be nonviolent. Violence erupts. Names change. Slogans change. But the violence remains the same. It may be in the name of religion, in the name of political ideology, or any absurd thing. A football match is enough for people to get violent. A cricket match is enough. People are so interested in violence that if they cannot do it themselves, because it is risky, and they think of the consequences, they find vicarious ways to be violent. In a movie or on the TV, violence is a must. Without violence, nobody is going to watch the film. Seeing violence and blood, suddenly you are reminded of your animal past. You forget your present. You completely forget your future. You become your past. You become identified. What is happening on the screen somehow becomes your own life. You are no longer a spectator. In those moments, you become a participant. You fall in rapport. Violence has great attraction. Sexuality also has great attraction, because it is only in sexual moments that you can become one. Otherwise, you remain too divided, and the anxiety and the anguish persists. Violence, sex, drugs, they all help you, at least for the time being, temporarily, to fall back, to become all animal. But this cannot become a permanent state of affairs. One fundamental law has to be understood. Nothing can go backward. At the most, you can pretend, and at the most, you can deceive, but nothing can go backward, because time does not move backward. Time always goes ahead. You cannot reduce a young man to a child, and you cannot reduce an old man to a young man. Not yet. It is impossible. Not anymore. The tree cannot be reduced back to the original seed. It is impossible. Not anymore. Evolution goes on, and there is no way to prevent it or to force it backwards. Hence, all the efforts of men to become animals and find peace are doomed to fail. You can be drunk through alcohol or through other drugs, marijuana, LSD. You can be completely drowned. For the moment, all the worries disappear. For the moment, you are no longer part of a problematic existence. For the moment, you move in totally different dimension, but for the moment only. Tomorrow morning, you'll be back. And when you're back, the world is going to be uglier than it ever was before. And life is going to be more of a problem than it ever was before. Because while you were intoxicated, unconscious, asleep, in the drug, the problems were growing. The problems were becoming more and more complicated. While you were thinking that you had gone beyond the problems were taking root more in your being, in your unconsciousness. Tomorrow again, you will feel back in the same world. You'll be back in the same world. It will look uglier compared to the peace that you had attained by reduction, by intoxication, by forgetfulness. Compared to that peace, the world will look even more dangerous, more complex, more scary. And then the only way is to go on increasing the doses of your drug. But that too does not help for long. And this is no way to get out of the dilemma. The dilemma remains, persists. The only way is to grow toward the divine. The only way is forward. The only way is to become that which is your potential. The only way is to transform the potential into the actual. Man is a potential God. Unless he becomes an actual God, there is no possibility of contentment. People have tried that too. How to become divine. And becoming divine, what to do with the animal. The simplest solution that has appeared again and again and again down the ages is repress the animal. It is the same solution. Either repress the divine through violence, through sex, through drugs, forget about the divine. That is one solution, which never succeeds, cannot succeed. And the very nature of things, it is bound to fail. Then the second suggestion that comes to mind is repress the animal. Forget the animal. Keep the animal in the back. Don't look at it. Throw it deep down in the basement of your unconsciousness so you don't come across it in your daily life, so you don't see it. Man thinks almost in the same way as the ostrich. Are any of you familiar with that bird? The ostrich thinks if he cannot see the enemy does not exist. Hence, when the ostrich encounters the enemy, he simply closes his eyes. By closing his eyes, he thinks now there is no enemy because he cannot see him. That's what has been done down the ages by 99% of religious people. And that 1%, I leave Buddhas, Krishnas, Kabbers, 99% of religious people have just been doing nothing but an ostrich exercise, an exercise of utter futility. Repress the animal. But you cannot repress the animal because the animal has great energy. It has been your whole past. It is millions upon millions of years old. It has deep roots in you. You cannot so easily get rid of it just by closing your eyes. You are simply being stupid. And the animal is your base. It is your very foundation. You were born as an animal. You are not different from any other animal. You can be different, but you are not. Just by being born, you don't become different. Yes, you have a different kind of body, but not very different. You have a different kind of intelligence, but not very different. The difference is only of quantity, not quality. Now modern research into plants says that even plants are intelligent, sensitive, alert, aware. What to say about animals? A few researchers say that even metals have a kind of intelligence of their own. So the difference between man and the elephant, between man and the dolphin, between man and the monkeys is not of quality. It is only of quantity, only of degrees. We have a little more intelligence, that's all. It is not much of a difference, at least not a difference that makes any difference. The qualitative change happens only when a man becomes fully awakened, when a man becomes a Buddha and understand that we are all Buddhas. Then the real difference happens. Then he is no longer an animal. Then he is simply divine. But how do you attain it? That 99% of religious people has been doing something utterly wrong. Just the same logic that is being followed by the violent people, the sexual people, the alcoholics. The same kind of logic, forget the animal. Many techniques have been developed to forget the animal. Chant mantras so that you can forget the animal. Become occupied in chanting. Go on repeating Rama, 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 Rama. Repeat it so fast that your whole mind becomes full of the vibe of this single word, Rama. This is simply a way to avoid the animal. And the animal is there. You can go on chanting Rama for centuries. The animal is not going to be changed by such a simple trick. You cannot deceive the animal. It will remain only a very superficial religiousness. Scratch any religious man and you will find the animal inside. Just scratch a little. The so-called religiousness is not even skin deep. It only pretends. It is only a formality, a social ritual. You go to church, you read the Bible, you read the Gita, you chant, you pray, but it is all formal. Your heart is not in it, and your animal inside goes on laughing at you. He ridicules you. He knows you perfectly well, who you are, where you are, and he knows how to manipulate you. You can go on chanting for hours, and then a beautiful woman passes by, and suddenly all chanting disappears, and you have forgotten all about God, just the smell from the bakery, and all is gone. But Hare Krishna, Rama is all gone. Just any small thing is enough. Somebody insults you. There is anger, and the animal is ready to take revenge. You are in a rage. In fact, religious people become angrier than anybody else because others don't repress. And religious people are more sexually perverted than anybody else because others don't repress. The religious person's dreams have to be watched because in the day, he can go on repressing. But what about the night when he is asleep? Mahatma Gandhi wrote that even at the age of 70, he was having sexual dreams. At the age of 70, why sexual dreams, he said. And the day I have become disciplined. The whole day, not even a single thought of sex comes to me. But in the night, I am incapable. I am unconscious. So all the discipline and control disappears. Sigmund Freud's insight is very valuable. That to know about a man, you have to know his dreams, not his waking life. His waking life is pseudo. His real life asserts itself in his dreams because his dreams are more natural. No repression, no discipline, no control. Hence, psychoanalysis does not bother about your waking life. Just see the point. Your waking life is so pseudo that psychoanalysis does not believe in it at all. It is worthless. Psychoanalysis penetrates your dreams because dreams are far truer than your so-called waking life. This is ironical that the waking life, which we think is real life, is not thought by psychoanalysis to be real. It is thought to be more unreal than your dreams. Your dreams are far more real because you are not there to distort. You are fast asleep. The conscious mind is asleep, and the unconscious is free to have its say. And the unconscious is your true mind, because the conscious is only 1/10 of your total mind. 9/10 is the unconscious. 9 times more powerful, 9 times more bigger than your conscious mind. What will you do when you're fighting with your sexuality? Anger, greed. You will go on throwing them into the unconscious, into the darkness of the basement, thinking that by not seeing them, such as the ostrich does, you are getting rid of them. You are not getting rid of them. 99% of religious people go on repressing. And whenever you repress something, it goes deeper in you. It becomes more a part of your being. And it starts affecting you in such subtle ways that you may not even be aware of it. It takes very devious routes. It cannot come in direct ways because if it comes directly, you repress it. Then it comes in such subtle ways, such devious ways, such deceptive ways, with masks, that you cannot even recognize that it is sexuality. It can even use masks of prayer, of love, of religious ritual. But if you go deep down, if you allow yourself to be exposed to somebody who can observe and who understands the inner functioning of your mind, you will be surprised that it is the same energy moving through different channels. It has to move through different channels because no energy can ever be repressed. Let it be understood once and for all. No energy can ever be repressed. Energy can be transformed, but never repressed. The real religion consists of alchemy, of transforming techniques, methods. The real religion consists not of repressing the animal, but of purifying the animal, of raising the animal to the divine, using the animal, riding on the animal to go to the divine. It can become a tremendously powerful vehicle because it is power. That's real religion. Sex can be used as a great energy. You can ride on it to the very door of the divine. But if you repress it, you will become more and more entangled. If you repress sex, you will become angry. All the energy that was becoming sex will become anger. And it is better to be sexual than to be angry. In sex, at least there is something of love. In anger, there is only pure violence and nothing else. If sex is repressed, the person becomes violent, either to others or to themselves. These are the two possibilities. Either he will become a sadist and will torture others, or he will become a masochist and will torture himself. But torture he will. Do you know, down through the ages, that soldiers have not been allowed to have sexual relationships? Why? Because if soldiers are allowed to have sexual relationships, they don't gather enough anger in them, enough violence in them. Their sex becomes a release. They become soft. And a soft person cannot fight. Such as in sports, competitive sports. The coaches will tell the team that to stay away from women until after the game. Women make the legs weak. All this crap that's been thrown out there. Starve the soldier of sex, he is bound to fight better. In fact, his violence will be a substitute for his sexuality. These are all the little things that they use to control the civilization. Sigmund Freud was again right when he says that all our weapons are nothing but phallic symbols. You think that's a joke? Look at them all. Look at all of them. They're all phallic symbols. The sword, the knife, the bayonet, they are nothing but phallic symbols. The soldier has not been allowed to enter somebody's body, some woman's body. Now he is going crazy to enter. Now he can do anything. Now a great perverted desire has entered his being, repressed sex. He would like to enter somebody's body through a bayonet, through a sword. Down through the ages, the soldier was forced to repress his sexual desires. In this century, we have seen one thing happening. American soldiers are the most well-equipped soldiers in the world. Scientifically, technologically, they are the most well-equipped soldiers, but they proved weaker than any other soldiers. In Vietnam, a poor country, for years on end, they tried and had to accept defeat. Why? For the first time in history, the American soldier is sexually satisfied. That is the problem. The first soldier in history who is sexually satisfied, who is not starved sexually, he cannot win. A poor country like Vietnam, a small country like Vietnam, is a miracle. If you don't understand the psychology, it is a miracle. With all of the technology, with all of the modern science at the time, with all the power, and the American soldier could not do anything. But this is not new. This is an ancient truth. The whole history of India proves it. India is a big country, one of the biggest, next only to China. The second biggest country in the world. And it was conquered many times by small countries, Turks, Mongols, Greeks. Anybody came, and this big country was immediately defeated and conquered. What was the reason? And those people who had come to conquer were poor people starving. So the understanding of Indian history is that in the past, India was not sexually repressed. Those were the days when temples like Konark, Khajuraho, Puri were built. India was not sexually repressed. In spite of the few so-called Mahatmas, the greater part of the country was sexually satisfied. There was a softness, a loving quality, a grace. It was difficult for India to fight. For what? Just think of yourself. If you want to fight, you will have to starve yourself sexually for a few days. You can ask Muhammad Ali, when he was around, and other boxers before they fight, for a few days they have to become celibate. That's a must. You can ask the Olympic competitors before they participate in Olympic competitions for a few days, they have to starve themselves sexually. It gives a thrust. It gives great violence. It makes you capable of fighting. You run faster. You attack faster because the energy is boiling within. Hence, the soldier has been repressed. Just allow all the armies of the world to be sexually satisfied, and there will be peace. Just allow people sexual satisfaction, and there will be fewer Hindu Mohammedan riots, fewer Christian and Mohammedan crusades. All that nonsense will disappear. If love spreads, war will disappear. They cannot exist together. Repression is not the way. Transformation is the way. Don't repress anything. If sexuality is there, don't repress it. Otherwise, you will create a new complexity, which will be more difficult to tackle. If you can come to natural, spontaneous sexuality, things will be very simple. Things will be so simple that you cannot imagine. Then your energy is natural, and natural energy creates no hindrance to transformation. Hence, I say, from sex to superconsciousness. The transformation can only happen if first you accept your natural being. Whatever is natural is good. Yes, it is possible, but more will be possible only if you accept your nature with totality. If and when you become it, if and when you have no guilt about it, to be guilty, to feel guilty, is to be irreligious. In the past, you have been told just the opposite. Feel guilty, and you are religious. What I'm saying, feel guilty, and you will never be religious. The real religion. Drop all the guilt. You are whatever God made you, has made you. You are whatever existence has made you. Sex is not your creation. It's a gift of existence. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. For today, if you choose to, explore the perfection of duality. Notice there is both darkness and light within every person, thing, place, and experience. Get out a pen and paper and write down all your biggest judgments and negative beliefs you have about other people. Then write down the opposite, positive aspect of each belief. Notice what happens when you see the divine balance within each negativity in your life. Explore and feel this divine balance within yourself today. What would your life be like if you only saw a divinely balanced, perfect state in everyone and everything? Remember, this universe is completely balanced, perfect, and divine. The negative judgments created from the mind make our world appear to be anything but that. Acknowledge the perfect balance that exists in this life and recognize this each time you judge yourself or someone else today. Take that with you for the rest of the day and the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Friday, October 28th, 2022, at 3 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern for our reverse aging health call.